Welcome to Trash Talk. Today you have myself, Andy, construction manager of Advanced One Development.
My name is Crystal Helton. I'm the controller and head of HR for Interdyne and the Landfill Group.
I'm April Oliver, and my title just recently changed to onboarding champion. Still the same type of duties, but just a broader, more exciting phrase.
And today's topic is, what does one team mean and why is it important at the Landfill Group?
One team is, and protect our culture is a 2024 corporate goal that we had at the Landfill Group. One team means that no matter which department or division you come from, whether it be operations, administrative department, HR, Advanced One, Advanced Biogas, Jade, etc., that we're all working towards the same goal at Landfill Group and making Landfill Group a success. Our intention is to establish a living mentality that there is no us versus them. It's everybody working towards the same goal to make us successful.
Yeah, we have different silos, and sometimes I feel like it can be where you have some people that are kind of out on an island, and it's once a year where you might not know who certain people are. So it's just this concept that we've come up with this year to try to get everybody to work together, get to know each other. I guess for lack of a better description, get everybody on the same boat and paddle in the same direction. One way that we're really trying to ramp up the one team concept is we want to make sure that we're very focused and dedicated to helping out with our internal projects. In doing that, we want to make sure that we are maximizing the flows on each one of our internal sites. Last year, we had a 2-day annual where we talked about the concept of 10 CFM and what that means. And it's huge. You can put a pretty crazy dollar amount on 10 additional CFM into your pipeline. So we want to make sure that Advanced One is responsive and dedicated to making sure that we are getting everything out of these landfills that we can as far as gas flows are concerned.
I was looking back on old newsletters to send Dean, and one team is a phrase that we have been using since 2017. It's kind of cool to see it evolve and come to light with all these, ways to help us as we grow. Externally, I think that people see us as still being really small, but on the inside, the growth has been just huge. New departments, new people. There are people in states all over the country, and I think it is important to keep us united as we grow and are in other places.
Mm-hmm.
Why did the leadership team decide to make this a corporate goal for 2024?
The leadership team meets 2 days every year, and we sit down for 2 whole days, plan out a lot of our future goals and rocks and responsibilities, accountability, how are we going to get to where we're trying to go, and we narrow down our goals to 7 to 10 things that we deem the most important for that year. And this is one of the things that made the list because, we're feeling a lot of growth and expansion. And like April said, there's a lot of new people, a lot of different departments that are coming to Landfill Group. Jade joined in September 2022. I think they're the newest department. But it's just something that we're finding that's getting harder and harder is for people to get to know each other longer than just the 2-day company meeting that we have every year. This is something that we want to bring to the forefront. We wanted everybody to be on board with it, get excited about it. We're going to be doing lots of fun things to, bring more or less a smaller company meeting to different sites around the country since we're so decentralized. But it's really just to bring attention and light to the fact that as we grow and expand, staying grounded in who we are as an organization is very important, and the ultimate goal is that we are the Landfill Group.
Did you guys get a sense that, at times, with the growth and everything, that maybe there was some finger pointing here and there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's just a natural part of growth too.
Yeah. So I think that's another big reason why, we wanted to bring it to the top of the list. And like Crystal was saying, just get ahead of that, eliminate that, and make sure that we're working together as a team.
I think the new development call has helped a lot with issues. With our L10s, we have an opportunities list, which is pretty much an issues list. And people bring those topics to the table and I believe resolve them. I've heard a lot of good feedback. I'm actually not on the new development call. Crystal is, but I've heard great feedback from that call specifically.
Yeah, the new development brings somebody from each department and division into together for a meeting every week. We each have our own department L10s, so everybody's kind of separate, and then we have a management L10, leadership L10, and then this new development L10 brings different divisions, like I said, together every week, and it really does make a difference for people getting together and getting to share ideas from different places. Well, this is what my department said, and trying to resolve some of those conflicts, like April mentioned. It's really helped.
One of our core values, family, and it's directly associated with that. We have a very family-oriented culture here. That's something that this all relates to, as far as making sure that everybody, you put voices to the face. Who does what. Not only that, but get to know each other. We hold weekly L10 meetings where, we literally start out the meeting with good news personal, good news professional. We want to make sure that we're all aware of the fact that, we spend a lot of time together working, but, we have other things going on in our lives that are extremely important as well, such as family. And that's the culture that we want to make sure that we're embracing.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to let everyone have the experience that I feel like people that are in the Charlotte area get. This is my family. I call them on my personal time. We eat lunch together. We talk about our kids. And, if you're in Oregon or you're in New Jersey, it's a little harder to feel that, on a phone call or a Teams call. So I think we're just looking for different ways, to make everyone feel the way that we've just been fortunate to be surrounded by people.
So how are we making one team known to our employees?
My rocks, which are quarterly goals that I've set to tie to our corporate goals at the Landfill Group level, I'm spending every quarter working towards making it known to employees. We got some exciting stuff coming, but one of my things I'm most excited about is we're doing 3 site visits to the different sites around the Landfill Group. So we're going to Twin Chimneys in Greenville in June. We're going to renewable power producers in Kansas in September. and we're going to finish up hopefully sometime in December at Advanced Biogas in Asheville. And the plan is to go there, take a bunch of different employees from different departments and bring them all to the site. They can see and learn about the facilities, especially new employees. Most of them haven't. I haven't even been to renewable power producers, so I'm excited about going there. We also call renewable power producers RPP. So in future episodes, I'm sure you'll hear that. But it's basically to see and learn about the facilities, visit a new place. A lot of employees don't get to travel if you're a more local employee. And then most importantly, know who you work with and how to work with them even better than we do now. So we're going to have a facilitator with us that we're traveling around with that's going to keep us moving, get us some exercises going and teamwork and how to build up those values that we're really trying to foster for this one team. And I'm really excited about it. We've heard a lot of feedback that people want to get to know who they work with more than just the 2 days at the company meeting. So I'm hoping this is a good way to get to do that. And we're coming to you in some aspect. So yeah, it's going to be a cool training, learning experience as well as making one team known.
And some things we've done to kind of facilitate the groups. So I reached out to employees and I asked them, who do you want to know that you don't know? Where would you like to see that you haven't seen? And the feedback was really great, way better than I expected. And then we're also taking everybody's DISC profile. It's an assessment that helps us better understand your natural and adaptive behaviors. Our D stands for dominance, I stands for influence, S is steadiness, and C is compliance. I am a high C.
Me too. What are you, Andy? Do you know?
I'm steady. I'm an S.
High S. She ran a whole bunch of research and looked at like what personalities work well together, what personalities kind of feed off of each other. I thought that was interesting. I think a high D and a high C.
Yeah, so dominance and compliance tend to work well together, where dominance and influence do not typically.
Because dominant people want to just get it done, and influence people are like, hey, how do we talk this person into doing what we want. That was really interesting to get all the lists together, kind of look at different personalities, different people that haven't been, like a lot of the ABS, advanced biogas people in Asheville are welders, so they just work from the office. So a lot of her focus was looking at who can we take with us from ABS that hasn't seen a lot of the sites. So that's exciting. I'm really excited about taking them some places. So.
And then newer people also. So if you've been here a few years, you've at least seen Twin Chimneys or RPP or some of our sites. Newer employees just haven't seen any of them. So to get them out somewhere to just see the bigger picture, it made a difference for me, who works in an office and not on a landfill, to just kind of see everything come together.
Yeah, definitely. Good training point too.
Yeah, when we ask, what do you want to see more of, they want to know what their coworkers are doing outside of work.
Yeah, personal, and how to connect. And that was definitely part of this too, is like, how do we connect people outside of just what you do every day for a living?
And it's interesting, Crystal and I were talking just for company meeting ideas. We have so many musicians in the company, so many reptile lovers. I found that out recently. just different things that you wouldn't know.
A lot of hunters.
That you have in common
fishing.
with people.
Uh-huh. So obviously we've seen a lot of growth, and with that, obviously it's very important to protect our culture. Stick to our roots. We consider ourselves to be a mom and pop company, and we want to make sure that we continue that mentality as we grow and bring people in. And with everything that Crystal and April just mentioned, I think it's right along with that, and making sure that new people that we bring in are having a good experience and learning about our culture and getting to know people and tying everything back to family.
And all of our values, really. I think that's going to be the most important, is bringing the new people in and setting the expectation that we live by our values, vision, mission. Protect our culture was really a concept we came up with to go hand in hand with the one team. So it's kind of like a sub goal, but it's meant to be a more intentional focus on the employees. So how do we have now, as well as new employees. So I want to hear how we're doing as an organization with training. So the onboarding experience, we're going to have like a final onboarding interview that April's going to conduct with new employees to ask them about their training experience, their onboarding experience in general, how they felt like they've been brought to the company, have they been introduced to enough people. I want to hear about how we are doing as an organization more than just once a year on the company survey. And I want people to just feel like they have a voice outside of their silo, as Andy mentioned earlier. Have them tell me their story, tell me that they have a dog, or whatever. And people, like I said, love talking about themselves. I also want to get to know our employees better and use it to make our company better. I truly believe that the most important part of an organization is their employees, and if we take care of them, they'll take care of the company.
And that is why it's important to protect our company's culture.
Yeah, because that was the next question. Pretty much talked about that.
Yeah, and I feel like you've already touched on our plans to foster the one team mentality.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with your rock. But yeah, it's super important. Crystal's going to go to the extent of actually traveling to sites and making sure that everybody is getting to know each other. You're not stuck on an island.
I've worked a lot of places and interviewed at several places where I walked in and just saw a bunch of cubicles in a line, and it just felt like you were a number. And I never want people to feel that way here. I want them to always feel like they have a voice, that they can feel, safe and heard. We've worked a long time to come here and foster this environment. Just want to make sure that that's known and communicated to everyone, no matter how new or seasoned you may be here.
It is okay to disagree with your supervisor.
That's one of the questions on our 5x5 form. So,
what do you guys think is the number one thing that we want our employees to take away from the "We Are One Team" concept?
I think I want employees to be open to do everything asked, to just be excited about it, because I think it's something that they've asked for. It's something that we've spent a lot of time and resources and, putting our heads together. We've asked a lot of employees for feedback. I'm constantly on the phone. If I'm asking someone a question about something I'm doing, I'm also asking them, well, how are you doing? How's your training? Or, hey, if you've been here, 10 years, are you still happy with what you're doing? Do you have future goals? Like, I just always try to fit in that feedback aspect. So how can we do better? So I think the number one thing is just be excited about it. Be prepared to maybe get outside of your comfort zone, but it's going to be worth it, I think, in the end. And make it a priority. I want people to know that this is important to me and our leadership team, and it's something that we're looking for a lot of positive outcome for in 2024, and also that we want this to be forever and not just 2024. We want it to be something that is known to even people outside of the company. Like, if you come into this company, you're going to be taken care of and you're going to be treated well.
We want this noodle to stick to the wall. With all that, for sure, like having the different departments just know what they can lean on each other for as far as help. You know, Jade with design, Advanced One with construction, the ops team with the day-to-day as far as like making sure that our CFM is at a maximum. How do we do better? And it's getting our different silos to work together, be creative, and make the ship run.
And I think with any type of growth, there are growing pains, and part of this is just, everyone maybe being a little uncomfortable and pitching in, but, with the growth, I think it is important to keep that small family, personable feel. And with all this, I hope that is what we take away from it.
After these messages, William Brinker.
But just wanted to kind of highlight a few things that came up. There was conversation around, we have issues, and that we're always trying to make these issues better, or solve issues. And would like to offer up that we've, really introduced a concept in trying to embrace everything as an opportunity. So, while there are things that, like, I'll say are true issues, really if we try to flip that and look at the bright side of the coin, really we can turn every improvement into an opportunity to grow. Another thing that was mentioned in the podcast were L10s. L10s are weekly cadence meetings. That's also going to be in the EOS podcast. As we were talking about our goals, it came up that we've got goals and rocks, and we identify, opportunities, every single year that we want to tackle each year. And so we do that. Something that I really wanted to highlight too is it's not just a 2-day meeting. We do have a 2-day annual meeting typically where we bring everybody in the organization together to really foster that we are one team. Like, we fly everybody in from all around the country to whatever location that we're going to try to get FaceTime and get that time with people. Separate than that, the leadership team does have a 2-day annual meeting where we really debrief the year, try to set direction for the upcoming year. But throughout the entire year, we're having regular cadence meetings. We're having L10s. Every single week, the leadership team meets and has an L10. Every single week or every other week, every single department, company, A1, ABS, Jade, meets and has a meeting. Our operations team has a meeting that follows this same L10 cadence. So there is like constant contact and communication that goes around, the thought process and shaping, what our goals are going to be for the year. There was just a lot of healthy discussion around, being a family and how protecting our culture and being one team really, embodies, one of our 6 core values, which is that of family. And we're going to have a podcast here where we talk about values alone. The thing that I want to really recognize is relates to we are one team, and this and the value of family is, we spend more time, generally speaking, with the people that we work with than we do anybody else in this world. You show up to work, whether or not it's at a Zoom call or coming to an office. Oftentimes our spouses or significant others are off to work, even if we're able to work from home or be on a job site. So, really promoting the value of family and protecting our cultures is really important. Our 10-year target, that's also part of the EOS model, is our vision. And where do we want to be as an organization in 10 years? That really doesn't change. We look at our 3-year picture and that says, hey, where do we think we want to be in 3 years? That changes, and it changes every year. And as we get 1 year closer to that 3-year picture, that picture evolves. It gets a little bit clearer, and we're able to adjust our goals on an annual basis. But the 10-year target, really that North Star, always stays the same. Yeah, with that, I mean, maybe I'll invite, Andy or April, Crystal, if you guys want to share, what our 10-year target is, or what our vision is. I'd invite you to elaborate on those, I believe, 31 or 33 words.
So our vision is to be a company that is surrounded by people who embody our values and achieve our goals, that is equitable, that promotes purpose, and encourages our employees to create a meaningful quality of life. And I can't tell you how many times I've written that and said that, and I still get like a couple words off here and there. So, but yeah, and there's a lot to that, and we did that for a reason. Obviously, we have a lot of things that are really important to us as far as like, just thoughts and concepts that we wanted to include in our vision. So yeah, it's a potentially a run-on sentence, but we selected all those words very intentfully. Really want to embrace our vision.
A question that I'll ask and answer, is why do we have these divisions or silos, right? Because really, we're trying not to have silos, even though we've got separate operating units. And really, these separate operating units or businesses are our core companies. But why do we have them all, right? Like we're one of few developers, or really I'm gonna say industry players in the landfill gas to energy space that have all of these different companies kind of under one umbrella. We've got our development arm, Enterdyne Power Systems, that kind of, I'll say, purpose is to put the bookends of a project together. So as a developer, we get a gas right, we get an offtake, and then we help facilitate everything in between: design, engineering, procurement, construction, financing, kind of the whole gamut, like typical developer role. And once a project is developed, typically it's its own special purpose entity. So we'll call that Renewable Power Producers, or RPP, or Twin Chimneys, TCPP. But once that project is developed, Enterdyne then provides all of the back office support. So accounting and HR, and environmental health and safety and compliance, hires the folks that manage the facilities, so all the operations, it's really all the back office support. Advance One is our construction division. So our construction company, they're the general contractors that go out and install the vast majority of the equipment that goes on our facilities, from the well fields to the plants. Advance One was formed in 2006, Enterdyne in 91, and really, Advance One's been doing all of Enterdyne's work for since then, but even a few years prior. And why did we form a construction company? It was economies of scale. It was to be a support team to the development arm, to the projects that we're developing, really to be able to help control quality and cost. So it gave us the ability to do projects that people wouldn't otherwise be able to do. But if we had to say, why does A1 exist? It was to be part of what became the Landfill Group and support Enterdyne in its development projects. Advance One made a mistake, and it was me that made the mistake, bidding on a project in South Carolina, our Greenville facility in 2008, and on a component, a flare station. And we found ourselves in the manufacturing business, not by choice, but by necessity. And really, since then, we never turned back, and that's how Advanced Biogas Systems was formed. So it's like, why do we have a fabrication shop? It wasn't because we just thought it was going to be a great idea. We made a mistake, and then we realized that, hey, we can make custom biogas treating equipment for a fraction of the cost that we could buy it from a third party. We're going to operate the equipment anyways because we provide all the support through Enterdyne. So Advanced Biogas Systems was born. And then, over the years, we've really been using the same few engineers to help us with all the different pieces of the puzzle, designing these gas systems and the fabrication, equipment, doing all of our project integration with the plants. And we were able to bring those engineers in-house to support the Landfill Group really full-time. So if we really say, hey, why do we have these core businesses? It's really to support one mission, one team. We just happen to be broken out into different disciplines. And sometimes, like, any organization, when you're in your own lane, there can be communication challenges, there's levels of separation, and, part of this kind of corporate, I don't like to use that word because we're a family business, but that corporate goal is like really saying, hey, why do we exist? Right? We are one team. Like, I don't think that anybody has any real authenticity over which hat that they wear. They just happen to wear a particular hat based on the division that they're serving, but we really do it for one common good. And we're also able to provide services from those entities out to third parties as well. Yeah, and then I think in it was maybe 2010-ish, we formed the Landfill Group, thinking that would be an easier domain name and email to spell, because nobody could spell Interdyne, so we formed Landfill Group, but really that's who we've evolved to over time. So if we were to draw that box around each of these companies, we have become one team in the Landfill Group, even though we're broken out into a number of different divisions or entities.
We all wear the Landfill Group hat.
We all wear the Landfill Group hat, that's right, regardless of how we serve,
And and yours is not Andy at advance1development.com. Yours is not April at Interdyne. It's everybody's email address is at landfillgroup.com for a reason. Well, obviously to make it easier, but also to that one team aspect is like we're all working towards the same goal to make Landfill Group.
Yeah, and as we set this goal, it was probably one of the most probably the most excited about this goal than any goal we've had in like a long time, because it really does just promote this idea of teamwork and culture. I jotted down as Crystal was talking earlier. She said we wanted to be known, and I might even substitute that with saying we wanted to be felt, because I think culture and everything that we're talking about as it relates to this is really a feeling. Mm-hmm. We want people to know the history and why we exist and how we support each other. But really what we're trying to foster with this one team is a feeling, and that we're all in it to win it together and to be there for each other, which really relates back to our 10-year target, surrounding ourselves with people that embody our values and achieves our goals, promotes purpose, is equitable, and encourages employees to create a meaningful quality of life.
And people really do find it fascinating. We've been making a point with potential new hires or just people that we have hired to bring them in and have lunch with them and spend the day with them, and to really take the time just to kind of go over, there's always the beginning spiel like A1, ABS, da-da-da, but to really explain that, and people are just like, whoa, that's cool that you do that, or you're fully integrated, like you do all of these things, and to take the time to really break it out, because it's a lot of overwhelming information just to be told, like, hey, you're hired, we have 10 departments.
And that kind of segues into the buddy system, which we will cover another episode. We identified an opportunity to give people a really good experience when coming on board with us. We may have made this mistake in the past, probably lost a few really good quality people, mainly because maybe they didn't feel like they were part of a team, a family-oriented type situation, when in fact we actually are that. It's hard with a new person to really feel that right out the gate. So we've created a system to help navigate that and make sure that people are getting that feeling right out the gate.
Agree.
Will, Crystal, April, it's been fun. Looking forward to the next one. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.